Travel can be transformative and exhilarating, but some destinations push the boundaries of adventure into genuinely perilous territory. These locations demand serious consideration before visiting, as they carry inherent dangers that have claimed lives or left visitors in serious jeopardy. While many can be explored safely with proper preparation, they all require careful planning and respect for their unique risks. The Danakil Desert, also known as the Danakil Depression, is one of the lowest and hottest places on Earth, sitting 410 feet below sea level. This geological wonder lies at the intersection where the African, Arabian, and Somali tectonic plates meet, creating a landscape that resembles an alien world. The desert hosts the Erta Ale volcano with its permanent lava lake, colorful sulfur deposits, and vast salt flats that have been mined for centuries. Why it's dangerous. The Danakil Desert sits at the junction of three tectonic plates with temperatures exceeding 125 degrees Fahrenheit, 52 degrees Celsius. Active volcanoes, sulfur springs releasing toxic gases, and unstable ground covering boiling acid pools create a lethal environment. Dehydration occurs within hours, and the region faces armed conflicts with kidnapping risks. The landscape constantly shifts due to geological activity, making previously safe areas suddenly hazardous. Safety tips. Travel only with experienced local guides and armed escorts. Carry excess water, minimum 1 gallon per person per day. Wear protective clothing covering all skin. Monitor weather and political conditions before departure. Bring satellite communication devices for emergencies. Standing at 29,032 feet above sea level, Mount Everest represents the ultimate mountaineering challenge and has become a deadly tourist attraction. The mountain has two main climbing routes, the South Col route from Nepal and the North Col route from Tibet. Over 6,000 people have attempted to reach the summit, with more than 320 losing their lives in the process. Bodies remain preserved in the ice as permanent markers of the mountain's unforgiving nature. Why it's dangerous. Mount Everest's death zone above 26,000 feet causes the human body to literally die from oxygen deprivation. Over 320 climbers have perished from altitude sickness, falls, avalanches, and extreme weather. Commercialization has created dangerous overcrowding, with inexperienced climbers causing bottlenecks in lethal conditions. Sudden storms bring minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit temperatures and 100+ miles per hour winds. Safety tips. Gain extensive high-altitude mountaineering experience first. Use only reputable guide services with proven safety records. Acclimatize properly with multiple practice climbs. Invest in top-quality cold weather and oxygen equipment. Have comprehensive evacuation insurance coverage. Once the playground of Hollywood stars like Frank Sinatra and Elizabeth Taylor in the 1950s and 60s, Acapulco was Mexico's premier resort destination. The city's dramatic cliff divers at La Quebrada and beautiful beaches made it internationally famous. However, the rise of drug cartels has transformed this Pacific Coast city into one of Mexico's most dangerous places, with violence overshadowing its natural beauty and rich cultural heritage. Why it's dangerous. Once glamorous, Acapulco now has one of the world's highest murder rates due to drug cartel violence. Competing cartels battle for trafficking routes, creating crossfire situations. Tourists face kidnapping, armed robbery, and express kidnapping schemes. Police corruption means law enforcement cannot be trusted for protection. Even resort areas experience spillover violence from ongoing cartel wars. Safety tips. Stay within secured resort compounds whenever possible. Avoid venturing into the city proper or local neighborhoods. Use only resort-arranged transportation. Don't display valuable items or large amounts of cash. Register with your embassy and monitor security alerts. Rio de Janeiro is Brazil's former capital and one of the world's most recognizable cities, famous for its stunning Christ the Redeemer statue, iconic Sugarloaf Mountain, and world-renowned carnival celebration. The city sprawls between mountains and ocean, with wealthy beachfront neighborhoods like Copacabana and Ipanema, contrasting sharply with hillside favela housing millions of residents. This geographic and economic divide creates a complex urban environment where beauty and danger coexist. Why it's dangerous? Rio combines stunning beauty with extreme urban violence. Armed robberies occur daily in tourist areas, with criminals showing no hesitation to use weapons. Favela violence spills into surrounding neighborhoods through stray bullets and gang conflicts. Police operations are among the world's most violent, turning areas into war zones. Kidnapping and express kidnapping target both locals and tourists regularly. Safety tips. Never venture into favelas without professional security. Use only registered taxis or verified ride-sharing apps. Avoid wearing jewelry or carrying expensive electronics. Stay in tourist police-patrolled areas like Copacabana. Learn basic Portuguese phrases for emergency situations. The cliffs of Moher stretch for 8 miles along Ireland's west coast, rising up to 702 feet above the Atlantic Ocean. These dramatic limestone cliffs are County Clare's most visited natural attraction, featuring in movies like Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince and The Princess Bride. The cliffs provide nesting sites for over 30,000 seabirds and offer breathtaking views of the Aran Islands and Galway Bay on clear days. Why it's dangerous. These 700-foot limestone cliffs face constant erosion, with sections regularly collapsing without warning. Atlantic winds exceed 80 miles per hour and can knock people over cliff edges instantly. The unstable ground near edges may be overhanging sections supported only by eroding rock. Sudden fog reduces visibility to zero, and wet grass becomes extremely slippery. Several deaths occur annually from falls. Safety tips. Stay well back from cliff edges, minimum 10 feet. Never climb over safety barriers for photos. Check weather conditions and avoid visiting during storms. Wear appropriate footwear with good grip. Keep children close and use safety harnesses if necessary. Half Dome is Yosemite's most iconic granite formation, rising 4,737 feet above sea level, with its distinctive sheer face carved by glacial activity. The hike to its summit covers 16 miles round trip, with a 4,800-foot elevation gain, culminating in the famous cable route installed in 1919. This granite monolith has become a symbol of the American West and attracts thousands of hikers annually, despite requiring permits due to safety concerns and environmental protection. Why it's dangerous. The final 400-foot cable ascent requires pulling yourself up at 45 to 60-degree angles on smooth granite. Wet cables become deadly slippery, and afternoon thunderstorms turn them into lightning conductors. Multiple deaths occur annually from falls during the cable section. Exhaustion from the 16-mile hike impairs judgment at the most critical moment when technical climbing skills are required. Safety tips. Obtain required permits and start before dawn. Bring proper gloves for cable grip. Check weather forecasts and turn back if storms approach. Train extensively for the physical demands beforehand. Consider hiring experienced guides for first attempts. Located on Florida's Atlantic coast, New Smyrna Beach is a charming surf town known for its consistent waves and laid-back atmosphere. The beach stretches for 13 miles and attracts surfers from around the world due to its reliable surf conditions. However, this coastal paradise holds the dubious distinction of being the shark attack capital of the world, according to the International Shark Attack File, with more recorded shark encounters than any other location globally. Why it's dangerous. Known as the shark attack capital of the world, with over 300 documented encounters, bull sharks and blacktips hunt in murky water where visibility is poor for both sharks and swimmers. The Ponce de Leon Inlet creates nutrient-rich waters attracting baitfish and subsequently sharks close to shore. Surfing increases risk as boards resemble seal silhouettes from below. Safety tips. Avoid swimming during dawn and dusk feeding times. Stay in groups and don't venture far from shore. Avoid areas with fishing activity or baitfish schools. Don't wear shiny jewelry that might attract sharks. Exit water immediately if sharks are spotted nearby. Bangkok, Thailand's capital and largest city, is home to over 8 million people and serves as the country's political, economic, and cultural center. Known as the City of Angels, Bangkok features magnificent temples like Wat Pho and Wat Arun, floating markets, vibrant street food culture, and a bustling nightlife scene. The city sits on the Chao Phraya River Delta, making it prone to flooding, while rapid urbanization has created numerous infrastructure challenges. Why it's dangerous. Bangkok presents multiple urban hazards, including air pollution exceeding safe limits by 300 to 400%, dangerous traffic with high motorcycle accident rates, and sophisticated tourist scams. Street food poses serious health risks from contaminated water and improper handling. Flash floods during monsoon season can trap visitors, and the overwhelmed drainage systems create health hazards from sewage and chemicals. Safety tips. Wear 95 masks during high pollution days. Use only bottled water and eat at reputable restaurants. Be extremely cautious of too good to be true offers. Use official taxis with meters or verified ride apps. Avoid street-level areas during flood warnings. Pripyat was a thriving Soviet city of 50,000 people, built in 1970 to house workers at the nearby Chernobyl nuclear power plant. The city featured modern amenities, including schools, hospitals, an amusement park, and cultural facilities, representing the pinnacle of Soviet urban planning. On April 26, 1986, the Chernobyl disaster forced the complete evacuation of Pripyat within 36 hours, leaving behind a perfectly preserved time capsule of Soviet life that has since become a haunting symbol of nuclear catastrophe. Why it's dangerous. This ghost city near Chernobyl remains radioactive with dangerous hotspots in basements and around medical facilities. 37 years of abandonment have left buildings structurally unsound with roofs, floors, and walls failing unpredictably. The ongoing war in Ukraine adds military dangers, including unexploded ordnance and active combat zones near the exclusion zone. Safety tips. Use only licensed tour operators with proper equipment. Follow guide instructions strictly and stay with groups. Avoid touching or disturbing any objects or surfaces. Don't eat, drink, or smoke inside the exclusion zone. Carry personal dosimeter and monitor readings constantly. Hawaii Volcanoes National Park encompasses 333,000 acres on the Big Island and contains two of the world's most active volcanoes, Kilauea and Mauna Loa. Established in 1916, the park showcases the ongoing geological processes that continue to create the Hawaiian Islands. Kilauea has been erupting almost continuously since 1983, providing visitors with rare opportunities to witness active lava flows, volcanic craters, and the raw power of Earth's creative forces. Why it's dangerous. Active volcanoes create constantly changing dangers, from 2,000 degree Fahrenheit lava flows, toxic gas emissions, and unstable ground that can collapse into molten rock. Sulfur dioxide concentrations reach lethal levels, while ocean entry points create explosive steam clouds and acid rain. New volcanic features develop rapidly, making previously safe areas suddenly hazardous. Safety tips. Check park alerts and closures before visiting. Stay on designated trails and respect all barriers. Bring gas masks for volcanic gas exposure. Wear sturdy boots and long pants for protection. Carry plenty of water and sun protection. Bikini Atoll is a ring-shaped coral reef in the Marshall Islands that became infamous as the site of 23 nuclear weapons tests conducted by the United States between 1946 and 1958. The tests, including the first underwater nuclear detonation and hydrogen bomb tests, displaced the native Bikinian people and left a legacy of radioactive contamination. Today, the atoll is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and popular diving destination, featuring a unique underwater museum of sunken warships. Why it's dangerous. Site of 23 nuclear tests with lingering radiation contamination in soil and marine life. Extreme isolation over 2,000 miles from medical facilities makes emergency evacuation difficult and expensive. Deteriorating underwater shipwrecks pose diving hazards with sharp metal and unstable structures. Strong currents and venomous marine life add additional risks to this remote location. Safety tips. Avoid consuming any local fish or vegetation. Bring comprehensive medical kit and satellite communication. Use only experienced dive operators with safety records. Purchase extensive evacuation insurance coverage. Monitor radiation levels with professional equipment. Oymyakon is a rural locality in Siberia's Sakha Republic, holding the record as the coldest permanently inhabited settlement on Earth. With a population of around 500 people, this remote village experiences a subarctic climate, with winter temperatures regularly dropping below -60 degrees Fahrenheit or -51 degrees Celsius. The town's name comes from the Even word, meaning unfrozen patch of water, referring to a nearby hot spring that prevents complete freezing even in extreme cold. Why it's dangerous. The coldest inhabited place on Earth, with temperatures below -60 degrees Fahrenheit or -51 degrees Celsius. Frostbite develops within minutes of skin exposure, while mechanical failures of vehicles and electronics occur regularly in extreme cold. Geographic isolation means rescue operations may be impossible for weeks during severe weather. Infrastructure struggles with conditions, leading to power and heating failures. Safety tips. Bring Arctic-rated clothing and backup gear. Ensure vehicles have engine block heaters and winter tires. Carry emergency food and fuel supplies for extended stays. Never travel alone and inform others of your plans. Bring satellite communication devices as phones fail. Lake Natron is a salt and soda lake located in northern Tanzania near the Kenyan border in the eastern branch of the East African Rift Valley. The lake sits below the active volcano Oldonyo Lengai and is fed by hot springs and small rivers. Its unique red coloration comes from salt-loving microorganisms that thrive in its extreme alkaline conditions. The lake serves as the primary breeding ground for East Africa's lesser flamingos, creating a striking contrast between beauty and danger. Why it's dangerous? This alkaline lake reaches pH levels of 12, caustic enough to burn skin and eyes on contact. Water temperatures reach 140 degrees Fahrenheit, 60 degrees Celsius, in shallow areas, creating chemical and thermal burns simultaneously. High salt content preserves dead animals, creating an eerie landscape. Vapors and spray can cause respiratory burns and eye damage even without direct contact. Safety tips. Never enter the water or touch lake surfaces. Wear protective eyewear and cover all skin. Stay upwind to avoid breathing vapors. Bring copious fresh water for emergency rinsing. Keep safe distance from shoreline due to unstable edges. Venezuela was once South America's wealthiest nation due to its vast oil reserves. But economic mismanagement and political corruption have led to complete societal collapse. The country now experiences hyperinflation, widespread shortages of basic necessities, and the breakdown of public services, including healthcare, electricity, and water. Millions of Venezuelans have fled to neighboring countries, creating one of the world's largest refugee crises in the Western Hemisphere. Why it's dangerous? Political instability and economic collapse have created one of the world's most dangerous countries for tourists. Kidnapping, armed robbery, and violent crime are common throughout the country. Shortages of food, medicine, and fuel create additional survival challenges. Government institutions have largely collapsed, providing no reliable security or emergency services for visitors. Safety tips. Reconsider travel entirely due to extreme risks. If essential, use only experienced security companies. Maintain low profile and avoid displaying wealth. Register with embassy and have evacuation plans. Carry minimal cash and no valuable electronics. The Middle East and North Africa region encompasses diverse countries with rich cultural heritage, ancient civilizations, and significant historical importance. However, ongoing conflicts, political instability, and terrorism have made several areas extremely dangerous for travelers. Countries like Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Yemen, and parts of the Sahel region experience active warfare, with civilian casualties mounting daily and infrastructure completely destroyed in many areas. Why it's dangerous? Multiple countries experience active warfare, terrorism, and political instability. Areas of Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, and Sahel regions pose extreme risks from combat operations, kidnapping by extremist groups, and indiscriminate violence. Government services are often non-existent, and rescue operations by home countries are usually impossible in active conflict zones. Safety tips. Follow government travel advisories strictly. Consider travel insurance that covers war zones. Maintain contact with embassy services. Have multiple evacuation routes planned. Travel only with experienced security professionals. Death Valley is a desert valley located in eastern California and Nevada, forming part of the Mojave Desert. It holds the record for the highest air temperature ever recorded on Earth at 134 degrees Fahrenheit, 56.7 degrees Celsius, and is the lowest, driest, and hottest location in North America. The valley spans 3,000 square miles and lies 282 feet below sea level at its lowest point, Badwater Basin. Despite its harsh conditions, Death Valley supports diverse plant and animal life adapted to extreme desert conditions. Why it's dangerous. The hottest, driest place in North America, with temperatures exceeding 120 degrees Fahrenheit, 49 degrees Celsius. Dehydration occurs rapidly in the arid environment, while vast distances between services mean mechanical breakdowns can become life-threatening. Flash floods occur despite desert conditions, and the remote location makes rescue operations difficult during extreme weather events. Safety tips. Carry at least 1 gallon of water per person per day. Travel in reliable vehicles with spare parts and tools. Inform others of travel plans and expected return. Avoid hiking during midday heat in summer months. Bring GPS devices and emergency signaling equipment. The Chernobyl nuclear power plant was the site of the world's worst nuclear disaster on April 26, 1986, when reactor 4 exploded during a safety test. The accident released radioactive materials across much of Europe and required the evacuation of over 100,000 people from the surrounding area. Today, the plant sits within the Chernobyl exclusion zone, a 30-kilometer radius area that remains largely uninhabited, though it has become an unlikely wildlife sanctuary and dark tourism destination. Why it's dangerous. Site of the world's worst nuclear disaster with ongoing radiation risks in specific areas. Military conflict has added new dangers with the facility becoming a strategic target. Radioactive particles concentrate in certain locations, and disturbing soil releases dangerous dust. Abandoned buildings contain asbestos and other hazardous materials becoming airborne as structures decay. Safety tips. Use only authorized tour operators with proper permits. Follow radiation safety protocols strictly. Avoid touching any surfaces or objects. Stay on designated paths and with guide groups. Monitor current military situation before traveling. Mount Vesuvius is one of the world's most famous and dangerous volcanoes, located near Naples in southern Italy. The volcano is best known for its catastrophic eruption in 79 AD that buried the cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum, preserving them in volcanic ash for nearly 2,000 years. Vesuvius last erupted in 1944 and remains one of the most closely monitored volcanoes in the world due to the over 3 million people living in its vicinity, making it potentially the most dangerous volcano on Earth. Why it's dangerous. This active volcano near Naples last erupted in 1944, but remains closely monitored for renewed activity. Loose volcanic soil causes frequent falls and injuries during climbs. The surrounding area houses over 3 million people, making any future eruption potentially catastrophic. Seismic activity and gas emissions can change rapidly, creating sudden hazards. Safety tips. Check volcanic activity reports before visiting. Wear sturdy hiking boots for loose volcanic terrain. Stay on marked trails and respect safety barriers. Monitor weather conditions as visibility can change rapidly. Have evacuation plans if volcanic activity increases. Snake Island, officially known as Ilha de Queimada Grande, is a 43-hectare island located off the coast of São Paulo State, Brazil. The island is home to the critically endangered golden lancehead pit viper, found nowhere else on Earth. These snakes evolved in isolation and developed extremely potent venom to hunt the island's bird population. The Brazilian government strictly prohibits civilian access to protect both the endangered species and potential visitors from certain death. Why it's dangerous? Home to the golden lancehead viper, one of the world's most venomous snakes, with an estimated 1 to 5 snakes per square meter. The Brazilian government prohibits civilian visits due to extreme danger. Any visit would likely result in multiple potentially fatal bites within minutes. The isolated location means no medical treatment would be available for snake envenomation. Safety tips. Access is legally prohibited. Do not attempt to visit. Respect Brazilian government restrictions completely. No legitimate tour operators provide access. Anti-venom for golden lanceheads is extremely rare. Consider this location completely off limits for tourism. These destinations remind us that travel, while enriching, sometimes comes with genuine risks that can't be eliminated through careful planning alone. The key to exploring dangerous destinations safely lies in thorough research, appropriate preparation, travel insurance, and accepting that some places may simply be too risky for recreational travel. Adventure should challenge us, but never become reckless endangerment.